Bruce?
Hey, Grandma Marge, you ready to read?
Today we're going to read another Winnie the Pooh story called Does It Float?
Does it float?
Remember the most important rule.
Always be nice?
No parents.
Oh yeah, no parents.
No parents.
Oh yeah, no, this is for kids.
This is just for
Annabelle,
Seamus, and Libby.
and any other kids or grandkids that are out there, but no grown-ups, okay? it's just kids and us reading to you.
Right, no parents. Okay. Does it float? Pooh and his friends were looking forward to a day filled with adventure. They were going on an expedition.
An expedition?
Everyone was ready to set off. But where was Tigger? Look out! Coming through, called Tigger. He bounced out of the 100-acre wood, dragging something large behind him. What is it? Asked Pooh. A raft, of course.
A raft, of course.
Pushing it into the stream. This here floaty boat will get us where we want to go in no time. Are you sure it's safe? Asked Rabbit nervously. Of course, Tigger said proudly. I made it myself.
There he is with his raft.
There he is.
His floaty boat.
His floaty boat. Once the raft was on the water, the friends climbed aboard carrying a honey pot, inner tube, a basket of strawberries, a butterfly net, a pail, and a big round rock. In no time at all, they were on their way.
Why do they need a big round rock?
Well, I think we are going to find out.
Okay.
Congratulations, Tigger, said Rabbit. Your raft floats nicely indeed. Thank you, Long Ears, Tigger replied. So where are we going on this expedition anyway? There they are, floating on the raft.
Woo.
I don't know, said Rabbit. Do you, Pooh? Not very far, replied Eeyore, because our raft has decided to go its separate ways.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Trouble on the raft.
Yeah.
Rabbit looked down and saw the logs drifting apart underneath them. Oh dear, he cried, we must get to shore.
Yeah.
It was serious.
Yeah. Land ho!
Shouted Tigger. He grabbed Piglet's butterfly net and used the handle to pull the rickety craft to the bank. The friends scrambled off just as the raft came apart completely. Everyone watched as the logs bobbed off in all directions.
All directions?
All directions. Their raft completely
every way.
Fell apart. Hey, look, shouted Roo. Everything we brought with us is floating. Pooh's honey pot was floating. Tigger's inner tube was floating. Rabbit's basket of strawberries was floating. Piglet's butterfly net was floating. And Roo's pail was floating too. Well, not everything we brought, Eeyore remarked.
Not everything?
Not everything. I guess we're going to find out what wasn't floating. I have a guess, do you?
I have an idea.
What do you think?
It's probably that rock.
It's probably that rock. What do you mean? Asked Pooh. My lucky rock, Eeyore replied. It's gone. Roo scanned the water. But where is it? He asked. At the bottom of the stream, I suppose, said Eeyore. I have a sinking feeling it's gone forever.
Is that a floating joke?
That's
a sinking feeling?
Oh, that's one unlucky rock, said Eeyore.
Yeah.
There he is.
It's one unlucky Eeyore.
Yeah. Everyone gathered their things when they floated to shore. So much for our expedition, said Pooh. What we need is a new plan. Let's go to my house, Roo offered. Mama was making cookies when I left. Oh, an eating plan, exclaimed Pooh with delight. My favorite kind of plan. Let's go get cookies.
Num num.
I hope there are no grown-ups around. Soon they were outside the door of the tidy house.
I'm looking for grown-ups.
Yeah, okay. Oh, but the cookies were still in the oven. Why don't you bob for apples, suggested Kanga, until the cookies are done. Oh, look at Tigger bobbing.
He's standing on his head. What's up with that?
The friends filled a tub with water and began their game. One by one, everyone took a turn trying to grab an apple in his mouth. It wasn't easy, Grandpa Bruce. The apples bobbed this way and that.
That's really hard to do.
It is. Eeyore stood back and watched. Thought Eeyore. Logs float, empty honey pots float, inner tubes float, strawberries float, a butterfly net floats, a tin pail floats, apples float. I wonder what he wonders.
I wonder too.
I wonder. Time for cookies, Kanga called out the window. While everyone headed inside, Eeyore went around back to Kanga's vegetable bin. He picked up a couple of potatoes in his mouth and dropped them into the wash tub. They sank.
They sank.
Next he threw in some carrots. Down to the bottom of the tub they went. Why can't I get anything to float, wondered Eeyore. Kanga came to the door. What are you going to do out here by yourself, Eeyore, she asked. Then she spotted the tub. Oh, making vegetable soup, I see. Well, come inside for cookies. You can finish later.
Ha!
The cookies are ready.
Cool.
Inside, Kanga brought out a big plate of cookies and poured glasses of lemonade with ice. No ice for me, said Eeyore. Mine always melts. He looked around the table and noticed that everyone's ice cubes were floating in their drinks. Again! Eeyore missed out on having something that floats. Eeyore eyed the sugar bowl. I bet I know something that will float, he thought. He plopped a sugar cube into his glass and watched it sink like a stone. I should have known that nothing can sweeten my luck, Eeyore said with a sigh. Well, they are having good cookies. After their snack, the friends needed something to do. How about I build us another raft, Tigger said, bouncing here and there. No, cried Rabbit, anything but that. Let's go find Christopher Robin, piped up Piglet. He always has good ideas. The friends walked through the 100-acre wood looking for Christopher Robin. On the way, Eeyore saw the pond filled with floating leaves, a frog and a lily pad bobbing gently on the pond. Eeyore sighed and wished more than anything that he could get something to float too. Poor Eeyore. Pooh sat down at his thinking spot. Think, 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 he told himself, tapping his head. I've got it! Pooh shouted suddenly. What Eeyore needs to solve his problem are friends to help him! Pooh hurried back to the bank where the others were waiting. I know what we are doing for the rest of the day, he announced. We are going to help Eeyore find a floating something to call his very own.
Oh, excellent.
That's excellent, Pooh, said Christopher Robin. Thank you, replied Pooh proudly. I thought of it all by myself.
Whew.
Rabbit headed off one way and Tigger and Roo bounced in another. Then Pooh, Piglet, and Christopher Robin walked away together, leaving Eeyore standing by himself. Excuse me, Eeyore said to no one in particular, but where should I be looking? He's always so confused.
I just don't get it. Yeah.
For a long while, the friends came and went. Rabbit arrived carrying a large toadstool. Tigger delivered some wooden toy blocks. Roo brought a rubber ball, and Piglet contributed a feather. Christopher Robin appeared with an armful of paper boats he had made. Eventually, a large pile of objects formed on the bank.
Objects.
Objects. For Eeyore. Wasn't that nice? All his friends were helping
very
him.
nice.
Eeyore examined the collection, trying to decide which items to toss into the water first, but was soon startled by a chorus of shouts behind him. Eeyore, cried his friends, pointing at the stream. Look! Eeyore turned and saw a wonderful thing. His tail had come off, and it was floating in the water.
How is that a good thing that his tail came
I
up?
don't know.
I don't get this Eeyore guy, I gotta tell you. Oh well.
That is funny. Christopher Robin patted Eeyore on the head. Well, what do you know, he said. Part of you floats, Eeyore. Eeyore smiled. I know it's hard to believe, he said, but right now I'm so happy I feel lighter than air. Christopher Robin chuckled. That's funny, he replied. Because your tail is lighter than water.
There you go. That's why it happened.
Who knew?
Ah.
Well, all I can say is it's a good thing the parents aren't around.
That's right. Oh.
So once again, read to you by Grandma Marge, accompanied by Grandpa Bruce.
Grandpa Bruce, that's me.
Winnie the Pooh, Does It Float?